2 words. Jason Fowler. Hello again, my friend. It's Todd Cetnar, your mental performance coach, and welcome back to the 3 Pillars of Elite Results podcast, episode 6, the story of Jason Fowler. He started racing motorcycles at the age of 6. He would spend his time racing nearly 40 weekends a year. He won 8 New England championships over a 9-year period. Jason Fowler lived just outside of Boston, and at the age of 17, it was March of 1991, his world, his life, got tipped upside down. Jason was out riding on his motorcycle. He didn't see a rock in the grass that day, hit the rock, sent him flying from his bike, and he landed on his head, compressed his spine, and he was paralyzed from the chest down. Now, as you can imagine, his life was shook upside down. A teenager who was on top of the world in his athletic sport, paralyzed from the chest down. And as Jason explains it, while he was sitting in the hospital, he understood he had 2 choices. One, he could crawl into a hole, hide, get depressed. But he said, I wasn't brought up that way. And he said his mom, who was at his bedside throughout the whole time, said to Jason, look, son, you've got 2 weeks to feel bad for yourself. And then you're going to get on and get going with your life and do the best you have with what we got. And he said that really set the tone for him. If you fast forward 6 months from when the accident happened, Jason borrowed a racing bike from a friend of a friend. He entered into a 5-mile race in his new wheelchair, hand cycle division bike. And during that race, he was so slow that day that the winner of the race came back 3 miles to greet him at mile 2 to help him get home, help him cross that finish line. Then he went on and he tried his first triathlon in his new world. He didn't even finish. This was a guy that was on top of the world at the time. He failed to qualify for 4 straight years in the triathlon races. It took him 7 years to finally get back on top and win an Ironman triathlon in a hand cycle division. A bike accident, 17 years old. Jason Fowler helps us understand that it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you handle it. Jason talked a lot about controlling what he can control was what he did on a day-to-day. He wrote down all his goals so he can see it and envision where he wants to be in a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years. He says the bigger the goal, the bigger the effort. And I couldn't agree more. And he said, I had a detailed plan for every race, every training session, every day. And no matter how bad I felt, the 2 words that I kept in my mind, the minute my feet hit the ground in the morning to when I brought him back up in bed, is never quit. To this day, nearly 30 years later, Jason Fowler has 43 marathons under his belt, 46 triathlons, 20 half Ironmans, 6 Ironman World Championships, and 2 Ironman World titles. If you're having a bad day, I want you to think about Jason Fowler's mindset. Never quit. Control what you can control. Put your own life into perspective. And as always, don't count the days, make the days count.